What's good, everybody? We're back again talking some ball. We got a fun one today. We're previewing the Thanksgiving Day slate. We got three really fun games that I'm excited about, all of them. We're going to be ripping through some underdog drafts today and kind of talking through the slate. I wanted to hop right into some as we started the stream. This contest is filling quickly. This is the Tiny Turkey. It's $3 to enter, 20 entry max. The tournament is already about to fill. So trying to hop in as many of these as I can, bang these out so I don't have to fill this other tournament out. But yeah, I went through and I feel really good about all these games and the data that we've compiled. Some interesting things to keep in mind. So you see here, start off with Jamar Chase. First off in this draft, I'm going to pull up the draft board on another tab for y'all. Give you guys maybe a more visually appealing look. But the reason we went ahead and took Jamar Chase is he just flat out kills the Ravens. Looking through the game logs and what he's done to the Ravens throughout his career is actually insane. Let's look at his games last year. He went for over 200 yards in the most recent matchup against them last season. Just went nuts. Let me find this stat line. He went for 17 targets, 11 receptions, 264, and 3 touchdowns in his first appearance against them. Just absolutely insane performance from Jamar. And with how the Ravens have been playing defensively, looking at how they fare in the secondary, how their corners rank on terms of like yards given up, touchdowns, it's all a net positive for the wide receivers. All right, we're on the clock here, so gonna make these picks. We went Chase Lamb, gonna go Travis Kelce here for the third pick. Actually, we're going to take Javonte Williams. Last minute pivot. Just don't feel great about any of these other running backs after you miss out on the top four. I was bummed to not get Chase Brown there. Let's go. For anyone that's hopping in, make sure to fire off any questions you guys got about the matchups tomorrow. Anything you're curious, any analysis. I'll try my best to answer it. I feel really good about all the data that we've compiled for the games this weekend. I have a whole sheet filled. It's a Google Doc. We're just compiling all the head-to-head stats that you need to know for these games tomorrow. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about the slate. First off, we got the Lions-Packers game to start the day, and I feel pretty good about the Lions ultimately winning that one. The spread is only 2.5 points, and I feel like that's a little bit disrespectful to the Lions considering what they've shown us this season. But I understand giving the Packers some respect since they ultimately did win that last matchup between the two. Picking now. Went ahead and took Mark Andrews there. Feel pretty good about Mark Andrews this week. Baltimore's just been getting him the ball a little bit more. And Cincinnati is the number one tight end or number one team to target for tight end production. That was a mouthful, but we got it there. I think we're going to go Patty Mahomes here. Just slipping too far in this one. Got to take the dip. One of my favorite tight end scrolls of this slate is Isaiah Likely. We talk about how susceptible the Bengals are to the pass right now and how little or how susceptible they are to the tight ends through the air, I should say. We look at just these past couple weeks, what tight ends have done against them. They're scoring touchdowns almost every week. The numbers on the year are actually kind of insane when it all comes down to it. I could pull up my doc here, but on this season, the Bengals rank 32nd in yards per game to tight ends, 31st in receptions through tight ends, and 32nd to tight end touchdowns. So overall, just getting crushed by the tight end position. Feel good about Mark Andrews. Feel good about Likely. Obviously, more people are going to be drafting Mark Andrews than Likely this week. I like taking the lower owned player and capitalizing off that low roster percentage. We're going to finish this draft off with Emmanuel Wilson. Just like him a little more than I like Kareem Hunt this week against Dallas. I feel like Emmanuel Wilson will still have a role even with Josh Jacobs being back, it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and hop into another draft. Pulling it up now. What up, Shazi? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, make sure to fire off any questions you guys got in the chat about these games tomorrow. Like we said, feeling pretty confident about our reads on the slate tomorrow. Hoping we can turn that into some bread in our pockets. We land on the 102 here. If you're looking at the ADPs, it's Jahmyr Gibbs is the clear 101 for tomorrow. Derrick Henry is the 102. Jamar Chase 103. At first, I was kind of going off ADP, but due to really diving into the numbers on this head-to-head matchup between the Ravens and the Bengals, I think I'm leaning Jamar Chase over Derrick Henry for the week. So I think I'm going to take him 102 right here and hopefully get a strong running back on the back end. Just unfortunate. It is kind of harder to build your team out when you go running back first or when you go wide receiver first on a small slate like this. Really just gets flat at running back after Gibbs, Derrick Henry. It's kind of just go and get your guy season. You got Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs. I like Josh Jacobs as your biggest upside swing. There it goes as planned. We're going to go ahead and grab Jamar Chase. Just already got some Derrick Henry teams. Not full fading Derrick Henry. It's not going to be Jamar Chase over Derrick Henry every time for me. But I feel good enough about the stance where I want to prioritize Jamar Chase to Derrick Henry. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure to drop a like on the stream. Fire off any questions in the chat. What up, Frizzle? Good to see you, bro. Hop in one of these lobbies with me, my dog. All right, so we're going to go. We're going to go ahead and go CeeDee Lamb. Get our wide receiver 2 to complement Jamar Chase. And then this guy already took one running back, so he can't take two. We're guaranteed to get, even if he took two running backs or was able to take two running backs, we'd be guaranteed one of Jacobs and Javonte. We get our pick of Jacobs and Javonte. I'm thinking we lean. Decisions. I think we're going to land on Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is playing. Oh, yeah, no worries, bro. Appreciate you for tuning in. I'm going to turn on some music. Just me today. Yash said he might pop in, so we might have Yash pop in for a sec. But just me for the. I got to turn on some music. Make sure to fire off any questions you guys have in the chat on some picks for tomorrow. Frizzle, if you saw that doc I dropped in the Discord, we have a bunch of research in there on these games tomorrow. A bunch of things to exploit. The biggest things that were popping for me is these Green Bay pass catchers against the Lions. I really like the spot for them. And then Jamar Chase just could be a nuclear spot for Chase. In games without T. Higgins, he's averaging over his career about 7 receptions per game in those games, about 80 yards. Just absolutely crushing in games without T. Higgins this year. Makes me quite bullish on him. We're going to go ahead and get Lamar here, and we're going to round it out with a little Mark Andrews pick for the next one. And that'll leave our running back pick, our choice of the gross running backs. We could also take a shot at receiver. There we see Christian Watson's been my favorite wide receiver scroll. I don't hate going and getting Romeo Doubs either for tomorrow's slate. I feel a little bit better about the later running backs or later wide receivers than I do the running backs, which makes me think that maybe a three wide receiver build could be viable for tomorrow. I know we like to stick to our 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, but just the outs I see are more there with these wide receivers, right? It seems like Rashad Bateman is good to go. He's an interesting guy as well for tomorrow. Maybe get a couple shares of him mixed in. He'll probably be relatively low owned in the contest as well. As we finish off this draft, I'm going to go ahead and hop into another. But before that, we're going to round off this draft, and I'm going to take Kareem Hunt and hope he just falls into the end zone. Don't love Kareem Hunt. I was talking a little about that in the Discord. This Dallas defense has really, really improved against the run. These last 2 weeks combined, they've given up a whopping 29 rush yards over the last 2 weeks, which is just pretty unreal stuff, considering they faced off against Ashton Genty and Saquon Barkley these last 2 weeks. Less than 30 yards between the two combined is just pretty crazy stuff. I'll admit I was hating on them. I was one of the loudest haters on them for making that Quinton Williams trade. I just wasn't a fan of them giving up first-round picks for the position I thought their team was at. But it's working out for them. They're a lot better versus the run. They're still pretty sus through the air. I will say that. Giving up a lot of fantasy points to wide receivers still. And I think that's kind of how I want to play it. I want to be playing it primarily through these Chiefs wide receivers. I want to mix in some more Rashee Rice, that sort of thing. A dream start at the 1 would be starting Jamar Chase, Rashee Rice. I don't think I'm yet to get any teams like that, but would be cool. We're going to start this one with Jahmyr Gibbs. I was thinking about taking Jamar Chase again just to kind of balance my exposures. We've been taking I did a bunch of these off stream and was pulling a bunch of 101s. And I honestly, while I still love Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously this matchup isn't ideal for him tomorrow. In his head-to-head history against the Packers, he's kind of struggled. In week 1 when he faced them this year, he had 9 carries for 19 yards. Did have 10 receptions for 31 yards, which is very nice. Saved his day for sure. But in underdog formats, half PPR, the 10 receptions isn't nearly as crucial as it would be in a PPR league. Still just about 10 points, which obviously at the 101 in a draft like that, if he has the same sort of outcome this week, that would be a disappointment. I am bullish on his receiving stuff for tomorrow. Just looking at his career versus the Packers, he's had 4 more receptions in 4 of the 5 matchups, but he has had 65 or less rush yards in all those games. So I prefer to play Gibbs through the air tomorrow. I also like playing this guy through the air that I'm going to take at this next pick, Chase Brown. Really love the spot for Chase Brown on terms of a receiving standpoint. The Ravens are giving up a bunch of receiving yards to running backs, a bunch of receptions. We know that is Chase Brown's role within this offense. I feel good about them getting him the ball, especially with no T. Higgins. I think the offense is going to go through the chases. All right, we're at our next pick here. I am going to go with we're going to take Mahomes. We're going to get our potential QB1. I'd like his matchup this week. I want to mix in him and Lamar a little equally for tomorrow. I think they both have really nice spots. And I think Joe Burrow is certainly viable too, as a little bit of a less owned option. I just don't know if I want to be playing it through Joe Burrow if I don't have Jamar Chase. That is the issue there. Really love Christian Watson. Haven't really talked about that yet, but this Lions defense is super man heavy, giving up a lot of big plays to wide receivers. And we know that's what Christian Watson can do, right? He's also just had some really great games against this Lions defense when you look at his career game logs. In 6 total games, he's had 3 games where he went over 100 yards, which is just, you love to see that, obviously. And of course, as we talk about him, we get sniped. It's all right, though. We're going to go Andrews, and then we're going to go ahead and go Worthy. And then we got one more wide receiver spot left. I wish we could have had Christian Watson there, but it's all right. Might take Romeo Doubs. I don't think I want to do any scrolling past Hollywood Brown. I think that's where I would cut it off at the wide receivers for tomorrow. 1 second. My cat's meowing at me. Gotta let her out. All right. Make sure to fire off any questions you guys got in the chat. You can ask anything about fantasy tomorrow. You can ask anything about NFL overall, anything about the games tomorrow. I'll dive into it. Frizzle asks, pick 2 rest of the season, Jawan Johnson, Kyle Pitts, Strange, and Darren Waller. I would say give me Jawan and give me Brenton Strange. No, I'm not going to say Brenton Strange. Give me Jawan and Kyle Pitts. Kirk Cousins does love himself some Kyle Pitts in games with Kirk Cousins under center. Kyle Pitts does have an increased target share. I think that fares well for him. I also feel good about Jawan and his involvement in that offense moving forward. All right, so we're here at the 604. We got Mahomes, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Worthy, Mark Andrews on this team. Thinking I want to finish it off with a Romeo Doubs selection. Honestly, not the biggest fan of this build. Just kind of trying to balance some exposures, right? Let's get into another one. We got 6 more left of these. Hoping we can max it. It's getting close to that, but I think we can get these in time. Gonna pull up. Let me know if you guys prefer this view where you can see who's available, or if you guys like this view where you could see the board. Let me know what works better, what's more visually appealing. I think this one might look a little better for these small drafts just because it covers the whole screen. Yeah, give me Watson over Butte. I really like this spot for Watson tomorrow. We get the 104 here. Honestly, I think Rashee Rice is the guy you got to pencil in here. Amon-Ra, I'm not as certain as I'm on Amon-Ra. I prefer Rice to Amon-Ra in terms of this week. And when I'm looking at Amon-Ra's career split against this Packers defense, it's not the best, right? He's had 9 career games against them, and he averages about 5 receptions, 58 yards, which is okay. But if he were to hit those averages tomorrow in this format, it'd be about 7.5 points, which is not what we're looking for, obviously, when we're taking him in the first round. Also, I feel like that game environment is going to be my least favorite of the 3. Just because both teams do like to run the ball a lot. They like to play ball control sort of offense. I can see that game being the lowest scoring of the 3. Bob asks, Hurts or May, Swift or Neal? Thanks. Let me make sure I don't botch the matchups. Give me one moment, Bob. Let me make my pick too, then I got you. We're going to go Rashee Rice. And then we're going to put our money where our mouth is. And we're going to do Chase Brown, get a little bit of a unique pairing. Rashee Rice, Chase Brown, you're not going to see that owned very often in this tournament. More doing that as a uniqueness thing rather than that being just a major stance. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the matchups right now. I've been so tapped into these Thursday night games that I'm like forgetting the Sunday matchups. Oh, Eagles have the Bears tomorrow. That's right. So I think I'm playing Hurts against the Bears. I still feel like that's a matchup to exploit. New England, they have a good matchup too against the Giants, but I think I lean Hurts still just because I think that Bears game will be a little more competitive. Yeah, give me Hurts. And then Swift or Neal, I would say you got to go Swift still. I know last week was worrisome, but I think you still play Swift. Week 14, Sam Darnold or Jaden Daniels. Who are the matchups, Frizzle? If you tell me who the matchups are, I can answer you. I would assume JD5 if he's actually playing. I'm so surprised that JD. I'm shocked he's actually coming back, it seems. Did not see that one coming, to be completely real with y'all. To keep it a buck. All right, wow. Let's do this. So we're going to go Mahomes with one of these for sure. Stack him up with Rashee Rice. I'm leaning Josh Jacobs. No, actually, I think we're going to go Kelsey. I want to do the Christian Watson thing as well. It's so tempting, but I think that has a better chance of falling to us. Jacobs is really fun here too. A couple picks past ADP. You know what? We're going to get Jacobs. Also, diving into the numbers, Dallas is surprisingly not bad against tight ends, which surprised me the more I looked into the numbers. That's another thing to keep in mind with Kelsey. Sam Darnold versus Falcons. JD versus the Vikings. Ooh. I'd probably go JD still. If it's his first game back, though, I might be a little more iffy. Maybe just play Darnold just because you know there's not going to be any rust there. Darnold's for sure the safer play. God, I really hope we get Christian Watson here. I don't think it's going to happen, but he just seems like such a good pick to me this week. We get the last tight end pick, so we're going to... I'm team Likely over Gesicki. So I'm going to take Likely. All right, it's all up to this guy. Hopefully this guy. Yes. Okay. So we get a nice, fun little team here. We got Patrick Mahomes, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs. And then we're going to round it off with Christian Watson, Isaiah Likely. I said Juwan and Kyle Pitts for your earlier question, Frizzle. Appreciate y'all that are checking in today. Make sure to drop a like on the stream. Drop a sub. I appreciate it. We're ripping some drafts for tomorrow. Some Underdog DFS drafts for the Thanksgiving slate. Fire off any questions. We're going to build out a pick'em slip too once we get done with this. Feel really good about some of these takes I got on this game tomorrow. Have a bunch of data lined up. Can show you guys for a split second. This is my sheet of all this information on the game tomorrow. Drop this in our Discord, which is free to join. Just dropped it in our community chat for anyone that wants to see. It just has a bunch of defensive trends, statistics, matchup history, etc. I'm not going to leave it on the screen, though, just because it's not the most visually appealing thing. But yeah, feel great about all the work we've got on this slate of games tomorrow. Excited to enjoy the holiday, watch some football, and have some fun sweat going on with the games. We land on 101 again, and this has just kind of been how it's been going in these drafts. We've been landing a bunch of 101 picks, which is good, but on a week where I'm not super in love with the 101, is what it is. But I'm not going to complain too much. We'll take Gibbs. Just has the potential to separate on the slate. Gibbs has helped us take down $2,000 in another contest this year. We're going to ride with our boy, Jameer. If he takes out another contest for me, I think I'm going to have to get a Jameer Gibbs jersey at this rate. Might have to order that as soon as I see him break one tomorrow. Not the best spot for him against the Packers defense, but sometimes you just got to bet on the talent. At home in Detroit could be a really fun game environment. Like I was saying a little bit earlier on the stream, probably my least favorite of the three, but it's Thanksgiving. Anything could happen. We could see some weird booms. Who knows? There goes Josh Jacobs. I think I want to do George Pickens here. And then, yeah, we're going to play it like this. We're going to go George Pickens. And then we're going to go Patrick Mahomes as a little game stack there, a little bring back. And then we'll get to our next picks when we get there. Oh, I skipped over that one, Frizzle. Are you talking about for this week or just rest of season? For rest of season, give me Woody. For this week, I think give me Woody as well. I just don't love playing any Saints, if I'm keeping it real. The only Saint I would feel decent about having in my lineup is Chris Olave. I guess Jawan Johnson, too. Forgetting about him, but you get my point, Frizzle. All right, here's what we want to do here. Damn it. We get sniped. Oh, my God. This is why we got in this position, because this guy wanted to take 2 tight ends. What the hell? What the hell? Well, I know with one of these, we're going to go Christian Watson. And then we got to decide what we want to do with the other one. Let's go Christian Watson. And then let's go Worthy. I feel good about Worthy, Dallas is giving up a bunch of fantasy points to wide receivers. We talk about wanting to ideally build these through 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, but you might just be that these wide receivers are the wide receivers that have the ceiling games, and Gibbs is the only running back who really separates. That's how this lineup would get there in theory. That's what we're going to have to bet on. Tight end looks like we're going to have to go to our favorite scroll again and get our boy, Isaiah Likely. Noah Fant's kind of interesting too, being so buried. Same with Musgrave, but I think I prefer Likely to those two still. Just love the matchup, obviously, and love that he's unique and not getting drafted in a bunch of these. All right, we're going to keep it rolling. The contest is getting so close to filling, but we're going to keep ripping them. Keep it going. What up, Fiery? Yo, Yosh in the chat. So, you want to disrespect my boy Christian Watson? How about 6 career matchups against the Lions? And how about 3 100-yard games in those 6? How about that? How about over 50 yards receiving in every single game this year? Come on. Come correct if you're going to come at me, Yosh. How about no Jaden Reed once again? Oh, bet. We're going to get Yosh on the stream. Bear with me, fellas. We land on the 103 in this one. That will likely be another Jamar Chase pick. Just to spoil it. Nothing to secret there. Jamar Chase kills the Ravens. I can look into the game logs if you guys want me to, but if you're a Ravens fan, I don't know if you want me to. Just murders them. It's unreal. He faced them last year without a... You're right. I will not be doing that. Jamar Chase faced the Ravens in a game without T. Higgins last year. You guys want to know the stat line? He finished that game with 17 targets, 11 receptions, 264 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right. We're going to go... We're going to go George Pickens. GP. Start off with the double wide receivers. Lamb Pickens is a toss-up for me. I've been taking a bunch of Lamb, so I just want to kind of mix in some more Pickens. We got Yash in here. What's good, bro?
What's good? How are you? How are the drafts going?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm ripping drafts. Been doing a bunch of prep work for these games tomorrow. I'm feeling pretty good about some of the stances I've gotten to. Yeah, man. We're ripping.
Let's see.
Do you see look at the doc I just shared with you?
The notable moves or the one over email you sent?
I sent it to your Gmail, but it's just like basically like just a cheat sheet for all the stats that I thought were interesting to note for tomorrow. All right, we got boxed out at running back on this draft, so this team's toast. Everyone is off the board. So Fiery said, hate to break it to you, but Jamar's getting boxed. It's funny you say that because did you not hear me just say the stat line he had against this same Ravens team, same defensive coordinator with no T. Higgins last year? 17 targets, 11 receptions, 264, 3 touchdowns. You're just going to ignore that game? Come on now. Come correct, Fiery. Okay.
What running backs are on the board?
Kareem Hunt, David Montgomery.
So you kind of just gotta hope for Kareem or Pacheco,
Kareem.
really.
Yeah, I gotta go Kareem and hope for a touchdown.
I just picked up Pacheco off waivers this morning, by the way. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, Gesicki might be a fine pick. Maybe I should start mixing him in. I just like the spot for Likely, bro. And Likely is just gonna be like, since Gesicki's the tight end 4 and Likely's the tight end 5, I bet you Gesicki will come in at like 65% owned, and Likely will probably be like sub 20%. I like playing it through Likely, to be honest. I don't love this team. I'm just gonna skip, not even recap it, and move on. Damn it! The tiny turkey just maxed on us. I didn't even realize how close it was to maxing until I hopped on stream, but it's glitched out now. But Underdog, shout out Underdog. They saw this contest was about to fill, so they added the gravy boat. They have this one too, which is kind of fun. It's the mac and cheese. It's a 3 entry max, $10 entry for this one. And the payouts are pretty spread out, which is cool. Small tournament too, only 1,600 entrants. The Dirty Bird. The Turkey Reverse. I need to do my other one of those. Maybe let's rip that. We'll rip our Turkey Reverse. It's like the same as the double reverse contest.
I said we take Jonathan Mingo 101. First active game of the season last week, I think. Did absolutely nothing.
Sounds about right. Did you are you on that doc?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
What do you see on there that's interesting to you? I was trying to kind of go through as I was drafting these, but it was just way too much to do that by myself. If you see anything that's noteworthy, bring it up and let's talk about it. The biggest thing I noticed is that the Bengals against tight ends average, like, they're literally worse in every statistic, which we kind of knew that, but it's even more insane when you really dive into the numbers. And then the Ravens defense is also like really good versus tight ends. To counter Frizzle's point about Mike Gesicki, they're 6th best in fantasy points given up to the tight end position. But Kyle Hamilton is questionable, and Kyle Hamilton is a guy that will be on tight ends for a good amount of the game. With no Kyle Hamilton, though, if he gets ruled out for some reason, like, that just makes me even more bullish on Jamar Chase. There he goes, 102 in this one.
What Chiefs players are you mixing in right now?
So I love playing it through Rasheed. Rasheed's my favorite guy to play it through. And then I think Worthy's viable. I don't like either of the running backs, but I've taken Kareem Hunt in a few spots where I just maybe he falls in the end zone. And I like taking Mahomes. Dallas, you see the stats about how much they've improved against the run?
I have seen that. I was listening to some videos about it today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. Like 29 rush yards combined. Appreciate you, Frizzle. Yeah, I spent like a good amount of time working on that. I might start doing it for each game if that would be something you guys would be interested in. Might be another perk of being in the Discord. Is me dropping that doc. What up, Mando? Good to see you, my Mando. Dog.
Is that Luna?
Yeah. Oh, can you guys hear? I'm gonna go let it.
Nah, bro. Let Luna meow, bro.
I'll be right back.
Silence her. Guys, we all have pets. Put in the chat the name of your pets, because we love animals. Flex1, Troy Franklin, Gainwell or Jay Addison. I am not touching any Vikings players. I'm just going to tell you that, Mando. I don't care if it's Brosmer. I don't care if it's J.J. McCarthy starting. I'm not touching him. The Seahawks defense is way too good, and the Vikings offense is way too dysfunctional. Broncos are playing. Washington. I think I'm leaning Troy Franklin off the rip. The Steelers are playing Buffalo. I understand why you're doing Gainwell.
Luna stream drop. All right.
I'm thinking Troy Franklin on Mando's question. Not really feeling Gainwell, even though it's the light matchup against the Bills. I'm just not buying into a guy whose main usage is receiving, not really rushing. Like, he just broke one off last game. And Jalen Warren was coming off an injury, so.
1 sec, twin. I got to lock in. I took Mark Andrews here. I just kind of did that for uniqueness purposes. And I've been getting boxed out at tight end, so I don't want that to happen again.
First of all,
I can't even put that on the screen.
Wild. Saints or Pats? Honestly, probably just go Pats because you're gonna want them.
Sneaky woke ball knowing stance is that the Patriots run defense isn't as good as it's been on paper the last couple weeks. Look into that.
No way, bro. It's not like they're playing a stud. They're playing Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary, bro. Like,
oh yeah, I'm not saying for this week, but like in general, rest of the season, I know we've kind of been scared of the Patriots matchup, but Chase Brown just went for like 100 yards on them behind the Bengals offensive line.
It's probably just because the Bengals passing is just so dangerous that they have to change their schemes.
Why is Javonte Williams slipping this crazy?
Snag him,
when
bro.
we already took 2 running backs, so we can't.
No.
I think what I want to do is this, but I think we're gonna get sniped by Steel City Gang. Oh my God, we don't get sniped. Never mind. Hell yeah. We go Lamar. We go Zay. We got the nutty Lamar, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Zay, Mark Andrews. And then we got to round it off with one more receivers. I think any of these top 3 would be awesome, ideal, best case scenario.
Do you like the discount we're getting on JMO after his 0-point performance?
Yeah, I've been mixing in JMO. He hasn't really done much against the Packers in his career. That's the biggest worry.
Good old Zaymar combo. I mean, we were just hating on the Zaymar combo, I feel like, last stream, bro.
Yeah, I don't love it, but it's just I got to mix in a little bit.
And he's going against, what's that guy's face? On
DJ Turner.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt he gets – it might be more the Rashad Bateman D-Hop matchup just because they like to get Zay going from the slot.
Is Bateman even healthy?
Oh, this is my turkey reverse, right? So maybe it's not. Oh, Christian Watson goes. God darn it. Might not be a bad idea to get unique here. What do you think about Yoshi Voss? Who's your favorite scroll? Rashad Bateman, Hollywood Brown, D-Hop. We just talked about Dontavia Wicks. Matthew Golden, kind of interesting if he plays.
I think Golden's interesting.
I think Golden's interesting too.
I think one of the Packers receivers is interesting. Did Dubes go yet, or is he injured?
He just went. I think I'm gonna go Golden just for uniqueness sake. Yeah, let's go Golden. And then if he's inactive, we can swap him out for, I don't know, I can set Worthy as my replacement and that'll work. All right, let's hop into some more. I like these contests they got for tomorrow, and I like how they're giving us so many options. Like they got a single entry contest, they got 8 entry contests. Like all these contests are super like budget friendly too. Turkey reverse $4 to max it, $60 to max the mac and cheese.
Did you see?
You rocking with the green bean casserole?
What?
It's just one of the tournaments.
Random names, bro. What's your guys' favorite Thanksgiving? Oh, did we even answer Mando's question? I'm starting Woody Marks, Hendo, Shyflex, Bucky, or Rome.
Oh my gosh.
I still think that the Eagles' defense is very scary. But it's just Rome. You do want to attack the Eagles through the air. Is Bucky playing this week?
Yes, he's back.
Back from whatever was troubling him against Arizona. And then who's Woody playing? Colts. I think that starting Bucky over Woody might be somewhat advantageous.
We get the 102 in this one.
I think I like starting Rome. Or, I just had that whole talk about not liking any Bears players because it's like you are basically flipping a coin on who's going to butt. Boom. But, damn, that's like a really tough spot, Mando. Just to watch Bucky drop like 30, though.
Do we think they lean on Bucky if Baker's out?
Yeah, I think Bucky's a clear start. I just don't know if you're starting him over Woody Marks and then how you would feel benching Rome for essentially Woody.
I'm fine benching Rome. But for Woody, I probably prefer Rome.
So, yeah, it's like where I'm at.
It's not a great matchup for Rome either against the Eagles.
You would want to attack the Eagles through the air, no? I mean, revenge game for DeAndre Swift, though.
They're just a good defense.
I know. That's a tough one. I think the move is probably... You're definitely starting Bucky. Let's put it that way. Bucky's starting. I'm between Woody and Rome right now. But Woody played really good football last game. And I kind of want to ride with that compared to someone who
Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry.
Chase.
That's where I'm at.
Did you hear Joe Burrow's interview?
Mm-mm.
He was talking about it was like something about like Thanksgiving, right? He's like, yeah, man, like I remember like waking up in the morning, Matthew Stafford's throwing for like 200, 300 yards to Megatron, and then they lose the game. Almost like he's talking about what he's about to do on Thursday, bro. He's about to throw for 300 and lose the game. So,
I really like Chase Brown receiving stuff for tomorrow. The numbers really support everything.
Frosty. I'll get to your questions after Frizzle and Andrew. How about Miami defense against the Saints? I don't know. I still don't think like the Saints are like that terrible. Where the Miami defense isn't like that great. Where I'd want to target like their matchups unless you're playing like a super bummy team. I'd rather still go with the Patriots defense. Pat's got injuries though. I'm scared. It's okay, Frizzle. It's okay to be scared.
Josh Jacobs or Chase Brown?
Brown. But you're limiting your upside, which kind of sucks.
No, we'll just mega stack it with Burrow. We can just build this one as maybe like a mega game stack. We get Ravens on the other side, and it's just the game that you needed the pieces from.
Yeah, I mean, it feels better than Josh Jacobs against Detroit or.
I mean, we can get Javonte and get our running back and then fill it out with the other guys. Or we can go Jacobs as our running back too. I'm cool with either of them.
I think people are just seeing the Cowboys versus Chiefs game as literally just Cowboys versus Eagles 2.0. Like the whole problem with Javonte last game was the Cowboys were just down the entire game. Like, oh my God, I was loving it. I was looking at my matchup against Kyle in our super flex. I had Pickens, he had Javonte, for you guys wondering. And it was beautiful. I was like, oh my God, the Cowboys are down 20. They're going to pass the ball all game. That's damn near what happened. So I don't really like targeting Javonte because I feel like the Chiefs are going to just run up the score and the Cowboys are going to respond by running up the score.
Yeah.
Especially with Chris Jones doing Chris Jones things.
I have been going Jacobs over Javonte. I decided to mix in Javonte there just because the Chiefs defense is very good against running backs. But as it says on the doc, the Chiefs defense is a lot worse on the road. So that's kind of what I'm going to be banking on with that pick. Just hoping that comes to fruition.
Andrew, I'm picking both those running backs, by the way. Just based off of matchups alone. I mean, I really don't like Pittman against the Texans, bro. The Texans barely let up 20 points a game. I mean, I just saw them massacre the Bills, bro. Like, I don't know if Daniel Jones is going to play that much of a better game against them. And then with Pittman's going to probably get matched up against Stingley or just, anyone on that defense for corners is pretty good. Zay versus the Bengals ain't really that bad. We might see a high-scoring back-and-forth game, which would be good for you. But I just feel like Bucky and Judkins are just safer options. Like, San Francisco D-line is in shambles.
Linebacker room.
Yeah, like everything about the Niners defense is in shambles, bro. Somehow they get it done, but it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. And I feel like you really just don't want to bench Bucky because they have been playing it very safe with his recovery. So I feel like he'll be 100% against the Cardinals.
We just lost out on Worthy. Do we just take JMO?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the spot to do it, right? We need a wide receiver. He's past ADP. Let's mix in some JMO. And then hopefully we don't get sniped on Joe Burrow, pending anything weird happening.
Lamar and just unstacked Lamar.
If we did probably Goff with JMO, and you're just hoping that's the blow up. Lamar will be gone if Burrow's not there. It's these two guys both need quarterbacks, so it's just what they want to do. I think Jordan Love is kind of interesting to take in these two. As him going as the QB6, if I'm taking like Christian Watson, building him with Jordan Love, I don't think is a bad idea. Love had a really good game against this defense last year. I don't think it's out of the range of possibilities for him to play well once again. Especially with how man-heavy this Lions team is. Like, Christian Watson can beat him over the top and just score a deep touchdown and completely inflate his fantasy performance, right? All right, we go Joe Burrow. We got Burrow, Chase Brown, Javonte, Jamar Chase, JMO, Mark Andrews on that build. Let's hop into another gravy boat. Hilarious contest name.
Frosty, Chargers defense or Falcons? Chargers versus the Raiders. Give me the Chargers. I don't even need to see who the Falcons are playing. Give me the Jets.
Give me the Falcons. Oh, I also want to shout this about my Raiders. Fire Chip Kelly, right? Brock Bowers is going to start playing better. Trust me on that. The offensive coordinator who took over, Greg Olsen. He's not my favorite, but the thing about Greg Olsen, he's been the Raiders offensive coordinator multiple times before in my lifetime, and he'll target his number one guy. Do you remember the years where Darren Waller was the only guy in on the whole Raiders team and was just getting fed targets every game. Do you remember when Jared Cook was getting fed targets? That was all Greg Olsen. Just a bunch of choice routes to the tight end. Like, I think we're going to see Brock Bowers get peppered compared to what we've seen. I just wanted to – sorry, that was, like, completely unrelated, but it just got –
No, that's pretty related.
Being brought in the picture. But I think they're going to play a little better on offense. Chip Kelly's just been so bad.
It might get freaky, though. I feel like Chargers-Raiders games are pretty freaky sometimes.
Yeah, they're always weird.
With that said, though, in terms of like defensive scoring and how it works in leagues, I feel like you might get more sacks with that Chargers defense than you will with the Falcons defense. Like the Falcons defense is good in real life, I feel like, and just like making the games like slower. But I don't know if they're going to be getting to Tyrod Taylor like that or like getting picks.
We go Rashee Rice, Chase Brown to get unique there.
Do we like Dart this week? Do we like Dart this week? I mean, I had the option to pick up Dart or Bo Nix, and I picked up Bo Nix on waivers. So
you're also a resident Dart hater, bro.
I am, but I also like know how he gets there in fantasy. Mostly rushing. He's not going to get there passing. I don't know. Is Dart coming in lower Tyrone Tracy at all for you? Because Tracy didn't play good with that one game he had with Dart.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting. I think we're going to learn a lot about this offense this game.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So I don't love Dart. Let's put it that way, Frosty. Like, I think he's probably going to end as like a top 15 QB as like a pretty conservative number. I could see him having like a top 8 finish, but Patriots are one of them teams. But I feel like they could get into a high-scoring game script, which would be good for the Giants. Or maybe not, because it'll force Dart to pass. Well, we got an Adunze hate comment coming, too. Don't start Bucky. Woody will have a more important role.
I would start Bucky over Woody this week, to be honest.
But I would probably maybe start Woody over Rome.
We've liked Woody's role, but he's still not scoring the touchdowns.
Yeah, it's still a low-scoring team. This Colts secondary is somewhat better, though. So we might see the Texans have to lean on him a little more. Is Adunze even worth starting anymore? He needs to eat against a potential shootout game. I might have to play Pittman over Adunze. I don't know about Pittman over Adunze. I'm a lot more scared about this Texans defense than I am about Caleb against the Eagles defense. And in terms of just ceilings, I feel like Rome has a higher ceiling in that matchup.
All right, freaky ad build. Isaiah Likely, Emmanuel Wilson, Mike Gesicki.
And double Chiefs receivers, bro. Yuck. You're going Emmanuel Wilson? This guy's lost the plot.
Oh, it autoed Likely. I didn't get the Wilson swap in time. We're going double tight ends. This is going to be the one that wins it.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I'm never doing that again.
I might have to play Pittman over. I don't know how I feel about Pittman over Adunze, Frosty. I understand your concerns with Adunze to the point that I would consider starting
over Frosty in the. That's what I said to do in the Discord. I wasn't sure if was it you that was asking that in the Discord, Frosty? I said Pittman.
Well, there's that opinion. Rome has a better cornerback matchup. Roman Woody over Bucky. Bucky gonna be limited. Is he gonna be limited, Frizzle? Because like he's been out for like 10 weeks, bro. I feel like he's probably been healthy for like the past 2, and it's just been mental stuff.
Dude, this guy's username's so big that it makes the box bigger for his draft slot. Do you see this? The 101 guy?
Dude, that's tech. Smokey the Silver Tormus. I don't even know what that says. Rome. Okay. Do we see Rico doing much against the Rams? Do we see anyone doing much against the Rams aside from Tet? Let me ask that question.
I don't even know if I see Tet. I feel like you got to play Rico unless you have, like, I mean, I'm not benching Rico for, like, Devin Neal. Like, it depends on what your other running back options are, right? I think he could still get there. He could fall in the end zone, but I did see something interesting about Rico Dowdle and his contract incentives that he has in place. Very interesting stuff, to say the least. Is it a coincidence that he's a touchdown away from hitting his incentive and they're not giving him the ball in the one anymore? Is it a coincidence he's 100 or 250 scrimmage yards away from a $1 million incentive bonus and they're not giving him the ball anymore? Just putting that out there.
L franchise, bro. Niners would give it to him.
Sent that in the Discord earlier, but just something to, I don't know. Sometimes teams are a little shady in the way they run business, right? Wow. I'm really hoping we get Rashee Rice here, dude. I've been hoping to get a Rashee Rice Jamar start.
I mean, there's like, what, 4 more weeks in the regular season? No way they think they can hold Rico to 50 yards a game.
Yes, I finally got it. Yes, this is the start I've been waiting for. Now time to lock in and not mess this up.
Were you thinking at running back, Chase?
I'm thinking Chase. I'm thinking Javonte Jacobs. I think I'm Javon. Oh, there is Jacobs. So now it's Chase Brown. I like it.
He's going to go double RB right here.
He already went double RB.
Bang.
So we get Chase. I like this start a lot.
Rico could get dump offs. He could. Chuba could also get dump offs, though. I feel like they might like Chuba better in the receiving game. CD needs to eat and do better than Rice. Where's CD going in this right now compared to Pickens?
They're like right next to each other. CD's a spot ahead of him.
Wow. Do you like Zay over Pittman? Rest of season or this week?
For this week, probably, right? Against the Bengals. But, like, how much do you really like that?
And there is the DJ Turner stuff. We never know. I mean, if he shadows Zay Flowers, who are they going to throw to? Mark Andrews? Rashad Bateman?
I think I'm going to go. I know we went Chase Brown, Jamar, but Lamar past ADP, right at ADP here is hella appealing. Or actually, do we go Andrews? Try to go Christian Watson. The guy behind us already has tight end. So actually, we're going to do this. We're going to do this, chat. Let me cook. Then we're going to get Mark Andrews. And then we're going to finish it off with Joe Burrow. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do, chat. Oh, did he really, Frosty? I didn't see that. Good. Yeah, because they caught him. They caught them trying to mess with his money, man. They did Rico. They were trying to do Rico like that, dude.
Trade Swift and Daniel Jones for Bucky and BTJ. Why are people still believing in BTJ? I'm pissed. I'm seeing this right now, Bronze. I'm not that pissed, but I'm just like, I hate BTJ. Is he even playing? Am I like talking out of my butt? Like, is he finally gonna play football? Questionable. Remains limited.
Yeah, I don't know if BTJ is going to be playing. I think the latest report is that he's expected to play this week, but
even if he plays, like let's say he plays week 14 to 17, what's his ceiling? What's his role in this offense now?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, what does it mean?
ETN's doing fine.
What does it mean?
Like ETN and Tootin are going to get hella touchdowns. I mean, Parker Washington's a solid slot guy with Jacoby. You know. What is BTJ offering? Just like a X guy getting hard targets from a crappy quarterback and Trevor Lawrence? I would borderline project BTJ the same as my Ricky Pearsall. And that's not exactly the greatest outlook from what we've seen these past 2 weeks, you know? Like, yeah, is he the receiver one on the Niners? What is he doing with that? What is he doing with those hard to get targets? Not much.
I got a hard out in a couple minutes here, fellas. So this is going to be my last draft.
All right, I'm going to continue to work down. But in terms of that trade, I honestly, Daniel Jones and DeAndre Swift for Bucky isn't even bad. You know? He said the same thing twice, but just he switched the position of Daniel Jones and Swift. It's funny. So as much as I hate BTJ, I do like that trade for you. Who are the quarterbacks you have to replace Daniel Jones or on waivers? Would you rather want to face Geno Smith or Tyrod Taylor? Geno Smith. He's not playing good football right now. Trade Dowdle for Travion Henderson. Straight up. Don't the Patriots have a really easy running back schedule rest of season?
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Even though we just saw like annoying Ramondre usage, I still think I would like that more.
We get Jahmyr Gibbs here.
Do I though? Dowdle just had like one bad game. You know, and while Anthony did just point out like these contract incentives, heck, maybe they aren't a shady organization. Maybe they try to get him there. You know, like, hey, he's only got 250. Let's feed him. You know, like, let's look on the other side of that coin. Like, that might be a great spot.
He has one more touchdown to cash one, and then 3 more touchdowns is another.
Like, do we really think he's not going to break off a 50-yard run for a touchdown? Like, I feel like, well, yes, that's a reasonable concern. There are 4 more weeks of football, so I wouldn't look too deeply into contract incentives yet. You know,
that's fair.
That's my take.
All right, so we got to go Pickens with one of these here. And then what are we thinking on this next pick? Do we like going Kelsey and game stacking? Dallas being good against tight ends, does that worry us? Do we get Jacobs?
I think we can just assume that tight ends won't separate in this format. I think that's like a decent take. Like, they didn't really separate last format either. The only one who's an exceptional talent is Travis Kelce, and he has maybe one of the hardest matchups. Are you looking at Jake Fergie at all?
Yeah, I just took him in one of these. Hold up, you got to help me pick, bro.
Jacobs?
You did all that yapping. Yeah, we'll go Jacobs.
This guy.
I think I like playing it through the Baltimore tight ends. Cincinnati's just so bad against the tight end position. Like, such a good spot if there is going to be any. Isaiah Likely, like, if there's going to be a time, it's this week. He's my favorite scroll at the position. I think Ferguson's viable just because Kansas City is a little susceptible to the tight end position. Like, that is their biggest weakness is they give up some seam shots. Could see Jake Ferguson getting loose, especially too with how dominant and CeeDee Lamb and Pickens have been. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs' game plan is to kind of keep everything in front of them, keep everything in the middle of the field, not get beat vertically. That could be a big target game for Jake Ferguson if we get that sort of game script. What do you think of that?
Or what Jake Ferguson may be eating?
Mm-hmm. A good Jake Ferg game script here.
I think it could be. I think we might just get a little Jake Fergie tutty.
I think it's viable to do this. Worthy Ferg and then finish it off with Dak.
Yeah. What's your draft looking like? How many people need tight end?
We get sniped on Ferg, so there goes that one. Or we can go Lamar, Worthy, and finish it off with Likely. Or do
Yeah.
you like any of these other receivers more? I was just leaning Worthy.
I think Worthy's a good buy.
I like Watson too. Like in a nutshell, I prefer Watson to Worthy, but I've been taking Watson most times, and we don't have a Kansas City piece. We already have a Green Bay piece. We'll finish it off with Isaiah Likely. I want to show my exposures real quick before we get out of here, so you guys can kind of see my stances all in one place. Let me refresh.
Frosty's like shipping Mac Jones and BTJ right now. Frosty, let me ask you this, okay? How much worse of a receiver do you think Rome is to George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb? Obviously, he's worse, right? But we just saw these guys have pretty good games against the Eagles. And I don't think Caleb's like a bum at QB. Like, he's probably a top 16 QB in the NFL, period. Can I name the 15 ahead of him and behind him right now? Probably not off the dome. But I would say he's probably in the top half of quarterbacks in the league, right? So, while I am also someone who's frustrated with Rome, and I don't even own Rome, it's just frustrating to have like these positive takes about him every week and then him just like drop 5 points. I think I prefer him over BTJ, who even when healthy all season, what did he give you? Like 9 points? Like at least Rome has shown you a ceiling this season. Hunter gone, so now back to true number one. That's also true. But like Parker got a lot better. Jacoby Myers is there now. Brenton Strange just came back from injury. Travis Etienne's playing good football with Bashaw Tootin. Like, is he really the true number one? Like, what does that mean? It's not a true number one in the sense of DK Metcalf, I'll tell you that. You know?
All right, these are how the final exposures are playing out for tomorrow. Feel pretty good about these. Mahomes, Lamar, Joe Burrow, my favorite 3 QBs. Mahomes and Lamar, the QB 1 and 2 on the slate. Highest exposures to them. I'm a little worried about if there's a big Dak game, not having much Dak. That could be worrisome. Chase Brown, my biggest stance on the running back position. Just gotta hope he falls in the end zone, stops running touchdown cold. Jahmyr Gibbs, 36%, just happens because we landed on the 101 a bunch. Josh Jacobs mixed in there a good amount. Javonte. So a little bit of Derrick Henry, a little bit of Kareem Hunt, a little bit of Emmanuel Wilson. Wide receivers, Christian Watson's our big stance. Jamar Chase second, C. Lamb. A little worried about 27% Lamb compared to 13 Pickens. Feel good about Worthy Rice at tight end. I think this is pretty good as well. Maybe wish I had a little more Jake Ferg. Might need to do some more tonight and get a little bit more exposure to those Cowboys. But that's going to wrap it up for the stream. Appreciate y'all that hopped in today. Make sure to drop a like on the stream, sub to the channel, and join the Discord. We're going to have some pick'em slips in there for tomorrow. We got this whole doc that I showed earlier in the stream that has a bunch of good information for the games tomorrow. That's in the Discord as well, so be sure to join that. Anything else before we get out of here?
And happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and enjoy your amazing food. Also, Devin Neal just showed up as questionable on Yahoo for a knee injury, apparently. I'll shout Audric Estime because honestly, who is Devin Neal, bro? I have no idea who this guy is, and I'm like a dynasty
casual.
Like I'm not big. I'm
Know
not buying
Kansas
into
Devin Neal.
I'm not really buying into Devin Neal personally. I think Anthony saw it. I picked up Audric Estime in one of our dynasty leagues this morning. So I am a little biased in shouting that.
Dog.
But I don't hate it, right? Like, do we really think there's gonna workhorse this guy who has a knee injury and they're like 2-8 or 2-9 or whatever the hell the Saints record is? It's not good.
Yeah.
So not someone I'm excited to start.
Yeah. Good take. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all in the next stream. Happy Thanksgiving. Be safe, everybody, and good luck. Later.
Just